This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good morning, all. Good morning, Liz Gomer. Can you hear me, Liz?
Yes, yes,
Good.
I have my earphones on.
Is that better than your hearing aids?
Well, I forgot them and I have to go downstairs, so I put those
Oh,
on.
okay. As long as it works, that's okay. All right. So everybody got the handout? Brenda, you got it? Okay.
Yes, I did.
Thank you very much. All right. So it's not a real big handout. As you can see on the camera, these are the samples of the designs you were given. And I'm curious to know what you would like to put them on. Liz, do you have a plan for putting yours on something?
Yes, I'm putting them on a t-shirt.
All right. And there's some information in the handout about suggestions for stabilizers for either knit fabrics or woven fabrics. But you've done so much stitching on knit fabrics that I'm sure you have your favorite way to do that.
Yes, and it's already stitching.
All right. Which one are you doing?
The one that says one does not stop buying fabric.
Okay. All right. Well, you probably will have it done before class is over and you can show us up too.
Okay.
Carol Foss, have you a plan for yours?
It's developing.
It's developing. Is that kind of like film?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, my dark room isn't ready yet.
Oh, okay. Well, do you have some thoughts on it, what you would like to do?
Well, I thought I would do some hot pads.
Okay, they're pretty good size for hot pads.
Well, you never can have too much room when you don't want to get burned.
That's true. Okay. Judy Evans, do you have a plan? I'm not hearing you.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Any thoughts about what you might want to do?
Well, they'd be cute on a tote too.
Yeah, I think they would be cute on a towel. Yes. Okay. How about Lee Turbush?
Oh, I'm thinking a Kimberbell bag, my favorite default.
Okay.
Kimberbell blanks. It's easy.
Yes, easy. All right. The bag is already open. You don't have to make the bag.
Yeah. I have some denim ones, so I think I'll do it on a denim one.
You could actually put one of each sayings on either side of it.
That's a brilliant idea. Yeah, I think I will do that.
I didn't know, the bags are just plain on both sides. There's no pockets or anything.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's perfect then.
Yep, that is. That'd be great. Good idea.
All right. How about Brenda?
I opened up an old grocery bag, you know, those cloth ones that you've bought. I figured I'd try it on this and see how I like it.
Okay. So which saying do you like?
I'm going to go, it's not hoarding if it's fabric.
Okay. It's fun to put all the little pieces of fabric around.
Haven't decided if I'll do that yet, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, the lettering is going to stitch out first. So if that's where you want to stop, that's fine.
Yeah.
And Carol Foss, if you were just putting on hot pads and you wanted to make a smaller one, you could just stitch out the lettering on the it's not hoarding, and it wouldn't take up as much room because the sizes I gave you were for the designs that included the appliques.
Oh, okay, because I was going to go resize the whole thing, but that's much easier. Thank you.
Okay. And then you could, you know, just freeform some appliques using your 4-way stitches on your machine to stitch down some pieces of fabric.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does that make sense to everybody else? About using the 4-way stitches? Liz is shaking her head. Yes, Brenda, does that make, or have you been into the 4-way stitches?
You did it a
Yeah,
time
we
ago. Or a
did
couple
it in
times
a
ago.
workbook class, yeah. Okay, so the very last thing in the handout is your stitching sequence for the colors. The hoarding has 4 different color stops, and the stop buying ones are only one color. So, and there's a few suggestions as to what else you might use it for. Any questions on stabilizers for the projects you're thinking about? Okay, so you can go ahead and get started. And while it's stitching, I have a couple other suggestions if you're looking for ideas to maybe make gifts for Christmas. There was an email from Viking a little while ago that they used some of those pre-made circular. Can you see this okay on your screens?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Where they had taken the circular placemats like this and embroidered on them. And I thought that was a great idea. So I rushed off to Kohl's and bought some, and I want to make some for my neighbors for a Christmas gift. Although I really like the design that they put on those, but I think that's more of a summertime thing. I wanted to do snowflakes, and I stitched out one this morning, and the snowflake doesn't show up as well as I would like it to. So I'm going to be looking for one that, unfortunately, it shows up a whole lot better on the back side. But I don't think that's what this is my practice one that I didn't want to get into the real ones to start off with. But I think, you could make most any design. You can, the designs that they've used on these have some fairly dense stitching in a couple places. So I think you'd be fine to stitch on them. And I just used a tearaway stabilizer in the hoop and then basted around the design to hold the placemat, and it was fine. It didn't give me any fits or anything. So that's just an idea if you're looking for something that, they don't take that long to stitch out, and I think they would make good gifts. Okay, so go ahead and stitch away, and if you have any questions, give me a shout.
It's a good idea. I just got
Thank
rid of a whole bunch of those.
You did.
I did. I'm like, I've had these for years. I don't need these anymore. I have all my ones that I've made. I'm like, why would I want these?
Oh, well. Seems that the minute you get rid of something, you find out that you could have used it for something else, but
I
that's
know.
pretty much normal.
Yep.
So
Good
go
idea.
ahead and stitch away, and if you have a question, give me a holler. Peggy, what can you got in a little late, what can I tell you about? I would like to know if you have an idea what you want to do with the sayings.
I haven't thought about them, but I know I like them. I'm gonna try to stitch them out and see how they stitch out. But I was thinking about trying to do them on Design Space for like doing it in, I don't know, so much vinyl or that infusible ink on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
But I have to find the right t-shirt. It's got to have polyester, right?
for infusible ink, yes, it needs to be at least 65% polyester.
So that's the only problem right there.
Might check out a sweatshirt, although you probably don't wear sweatshirts much.
Oh, I have a whole closet full of sweatshirts, but they've got stuff on them.
I know that's the frustrating part of trying to find things to embroider on, is that you can't find naked ones.
Well, and if you got to make sure the t-shirt's a little bit thick enough to embroider.
Yeah,
You know, it doesn't kind of hang funny.
well, and it's not gonna rip apart. I did put a note in the instructions that if, when you're stitching on something that's knit, that you want to use a ballpoint needle or a stretch needle. Because it won't be cutting holes in your t-shirt then.
Do you know how to convert those to files that we can, I don't know, can you take an SVG and then make it into a drawing file? I think that's,
Tell me more, what are you wanting to do, Lee?
well, like what, I think it was Peggy that was just talking about doing with drawing. So I was trying to figure out that embellish, it's not the embellish software, but the one that goes with it, the draw, I don't know, can't remember all the names. But I wonder if we could take that file and turn it into the drawing or the vinyl.
Well,
Is it Peggy that was talking about that?
yeah,
Yes.
let's say,
Yeah, me.
she's using the Cricut software.
Cricut. Yeah, because I
And
was thinking about,
it's
yeah.
extremely easy, just, I mean, there's tons of fonts and so forth in there just to type it in.
Oh, just redo it. I see. Instead of trying to take that file and convert it. That makes sense. Okay, got it. Yeah.
And
okay.
I think, any software that will feed your cutter
Yeah.
should, because it's mostly text.
Right. Yeah, because I had bought the embellish and the one that went with the embellish way back when we started all this. So,
Yes, I
yeah,
remember.
the cut and whatever it's called.
The cut and
Yeah,
scan.
No,
Scan and cut.
that goes with it. But anyway, so yeah, I could easily do that. That's a good idea.
But Judy, how would you do the packages? Just go in and design your own? Are the swatches of fabric?
Are you asking how I did it?
Or would you be able to just, so those swatches are applique, aren't they?
Yes. So if you wanted to do them in infusible ink with the different patterns, or you could actually do the words in infusible ink and do the appliques as appliques.
Yeah, and with my brother, I could just scan that whole thing in and then I would be able to, yeah, I'd still have to have some kind of a flat, it couldn't be the stitches though. Anyway, I'd have to somehow convert it into an SVG or something.
Are you thinking about doing heat transfer vinyl,
That's what I
or?
was thinking, yeah, because that one, it's not hoarding if it's fabric, would be kind of cute and heat transfer vinyl too.
Right.
Yeah, that's
If
the
you've
fun.
got some of the different patterns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you could do a mixed media one
Right.
where you did heat transfer vinyl for the letters and then actually either applique using the existing design or just use 4-way stitches on your machine.
Or you could do the drawing, like Peggy was talking about. You could do the vinyl in the middle and then the drawing for the fabric. All sorts of fun ways to do it.
Yeah, there's endless ways to skin a cat. Hi, Brenda. You doing okay?
Yep, doing fine, just trying not to be too noisy.
Oh, well, you made a face, so I was afraid something was going wrong. Okay, great. Judy Evans, can I help you in any way? Your mic wasn't on, Judy.
No, I'm just enjoying listening
Okay.
to the ideas.
All right. So, and I did put a note in the instructions that I want to see your projects either at the end of class or next class if they're not complete by the end of class today.
My problem right now is that I have my machine set up for something else and I don't want to change it.
Oh, I
to,
understand. Yeah, so tell me what you're making.
Well, I'm that table runner, and I had for Thanksgiving I had gone around the binding by hand, but now I'm sewing it down, in the ditch and having the little stitch that jumps over 2 stitches. So I was about halfway done. I do have it programmed in.
Well,
So.
Go ahead and work on it.
Okay.
And then if you get it done while we're still here, you can show us all.
Okay.
Judy, I have a question.
Yes, Carol?
I liked that placemat that you showed that you had embroidered on.
That
Yeah, that one. Now, I have some that I bought at the dollar store. I don't know if they're as nice as the ones from Kohl's.
Well, this one's from Walmart.
Oh, Walmart. They look similar to what I have. So my question was, do you use a particular type of needle to embroider through that?
I just used an embroidery needle, a 90.
Okay. A 90.
Uh-huh.
And no problems, huh?
No, not real. There were a couple places where it started to get a little loopy. So
Yeah.
increased the tension percentage to 55. It normally sets at 50.
Okay.
And so I touched the plus button once and changed it to 55, and that seemed to help.
Okay.
The other thing I did was to put a wash away topper on it, but it was, with this design, it was a little picky, but I just picked it all out because the label said spot clean only, although I think if you could dunk it in water, although I wouldn't want to have the dissolved wash away stabilizer in there still. So I chose to pick it off instead of washing it away.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the stabilizer on the back, I used a tearaway and I did wet it so it would come off easier if you use one of those that it's partially water soluble,
Uh-huh, okay.
and being wet didn't hurt it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Judy, I just had an idea for the sayings.
yes, ma'am.
You could do the canvas bag. Do those on the bag when you go
Yeah.
shopping.
Well, yeah, that Lee is going to put them on a tote bag, and Brenda is putting hers on a tote bag. But Lee's going to put one each saying on each side, so she'll have both sayings with one on each side of her bag.
That's a good idea. That's I thought, because it probably would see it. I hate to say this, you'd probably see the bag more than you would see the shirt, because you use the bag more than you wear the shirt.
Probably, and once you wear it, you got to put it in the wash
Yeah,
until somebody shows up to do the wash.
that's right.
Were you on, Peggy, when I showed the picture that came from the Viking website, or from Viking, that I got in an email? This one?
Oh, no, I wasn't.
That's what inspired the placemat thing.
I like that.
Isn't that pretty?
Yes.
But I thought for winter, you really wouldn't want those summery autumnal flower things. So that was why I was looking for a snowflake. But I think I want something different. Either I might try a heavier thread, or just look for different designs.
Did you use the top and bottom thread? Is it the same?
No, I used bobbin thread on the bottom, and then just 40 white embroidery thread on the top.
I wonder, I know metallic's a pain in the butt. Do you think metallic would show up better?
I don't know. I thought about that because I got 2 red ones and was thinking it would be cool to have silver snowflakes on those. And then I have these kind of silver color ones where I haven't decided what color would look good on them.
How about on the silver ones? What about dark like navy?
Well, it depends on what design I use. I could do, a snowflake in navy, just so it showed up.
Well, where'd you get the snowflake? Is that on our machines?
No, the snowflake that I used is from an Anita Good collection called Snowflakes of Rohan.
Oh.
Rohan. And they're heavy stitching. I mean, like a lot of triple stitching and even heavier. So this is the back side, and the snowflake shows up a whole lot better on it, the back side. I don't really know why.
And it still had triple stitching on the top?
Yes.
Oh, maybe it's just the weight of the thread.
That's what I was thinking, if I could had a heavier thread, that it might show up better.
So what would happen if you used your ink and tints pencils on that, just to play to see what it would do if you colored that in?
I'd make a mess.
Well, probably, because maybe the threads would hold it in, but the way that thing is sewn in circular, it might follow the lines if you did get messy.
No, I don't want to. No, I'm not that good.
It's too bumpy.
The ink tints pencils would have to have some kind of fluid on them, and then they would need to be heat set. And I don't think this polypropylene would stand the heat.
Yeah, I think it's too much work.
Well, yes. I want to just embroider them and be done.
Yeah. It's kind of like my bathroom, spray it and be done.
Um, Is it going okay, Liz? Okay, great. Brenda, you doing good?
Oh, yeah, I'm letting it stitch out the squares.
Okay.
I may not have everything sticky backed for it, but I'll give it a try.
Okay. I just always like to put some fusible web on the back of patches like that so they don't get fuzzy on the edges.
Well, I only got that thing this morning, so
Yeah, I know. Well, it was on the supply list that was on the website.
I have to get on the correct computer to do that.
Oh, okay. I was talking to Diane Ryan on Saturday, and she said that she was thinking about making a wall hanging for a friend for a gift. And that would probably be a good idea for a sewing room. I would just, the design isn't the hoarding design is almost square, so you could pretty much make a square wall hanging out of that. Is that your helper, Judy?
He was pretty sick last week or two, and periodically we have to get him a steroid shot, but he had his teeth cleaned again and they pull some. So we're hopeful that that'll put an end to it.
Well, that would be good.
So he's finally feeling real good now.
That's great. We get real attached to our little pets.
Yes, we do.
Carol Foss, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm just jumping up and down, that's all.
Well, okay. Are you that excited or?
Absolutely. Yeah, like where is that thread color?
Okay. Well,
Okay, here,
I do-
Judy. Can you see, Judy?
over, yeah, over to your right. I mean,
There,
your other right. There, that's good.
okay?
Uh-huh.
There,
All right.
there. Okay,
All right. You started way ahead, didn't you?
well, yeah, well, I have a lot of blank t-shirts and towels and things, and so I got it all together.
Well, great.
Okay,
So now all you need to do is throw it in the washer and get rid of all that topper under.
yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna go. You have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
Okay, goodbye, everybody. Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year.
Bye.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay,
Yes. Merry Christmas.
see you next year.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Okay.
It really doesn't take all that long to stitch them out. I chose to use black for all of the decorative stitching on my appliques because I was putting them on black fabric. So you could make your stitching match your fabric if you wanted, but I guess I was a little lazy and I just used black for all of mine instead of trying to match the colors. Let's see if you can kind of see it there that I did the black for the decorative stitching
Very
instead of
nice.
trying to, it was a lot easier than trying to match them and changing them because the way the design is set up, it does all the placement stitches, it does all the tack down stitches, and then it does all of the decorative stitches. So if you wanted them to be different colors, you would need to babysit closely and when it went from one to the other, then change your color on your machine because it doesn't stop in between. Okay.
Mhm.
Of course, with the software, you could go in and put stops in there. But it's pretty easy just to sit there and hit the stop button. How's the table runner going?
Okay. Sometimes my eyes act up and to try to stitch in the ditch, I'll get off a little. So I usually have to go back and take a few stitches out once in a while.
Oh, well, I think that happens to all of us with stitch in the ditch unless you do it a lot and are really practiced
Yeah.
at it.
This is pretty big and I was doing just fine, but now my eyes are going crazy.
Lee, how are you doing?
I'm not going to work on it today. I have way too many other projects going from last week. So I'm just enjoying the company.
Oh, well, thanks for being here with us.
Yep.
Yes.
So when you get caught up, then you can take your bag and put some sayings on it.
Yeah, exactly. I love the design. I think it's really fun.
And
I
they
was
were
excited to happen today or before Christmas.
they were things I saw in a catalog on shirts,
Yeah.
but the sayings in the catalog pertain to books, not
Okay.
fabrics. But I thought
Right.
that's perfect for fabrics.
So how did you create it then? And what software did you use?
Oh, my son.
MySonnet. So you just took the letters and used the letters that were in there, and then how'd you do the fabric?
I just used the applique feature,
Okay.
and I used the double zigzag for the decorative stitch. And then, each one was a separate applique, but then I had to go in and, have you ever taken an applique and done the break apart?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then I broke them all apart and
Okay.
moved all of the placement stitches together, moved all of the tack down stitches together, and moved all of the decorative stitches together. So they were all under one color stop.
Okay.
Rather than doing each one where you did the placement, the tack down and the decorative, and then went on to the next one, placement, tack down and decorative.
Okay, right. That makes
By
sense.
breaking them apart, I could move all of those together and make stitching out a whole lot easier.
Right, because then you place them all. You do the whatever, the placement line, then you do the tack down line on all of them.
Yes.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. Good.
That it was, if I was using someone else's design and they hadn't done that, I don't think I'd be real happy about it.
Yeah. Right.
Too much
No, for sure.
hassle.
Yes, to have to do each one individually.
Yes, I try to digitize like I would want the design to be if it were not my design.
Right. So I see now you use two different fonts on the, it's not hoarding, it's fabric. And I guess you did on the other one too, huh?
Yes,
So you
I did.
just use two different fonts.
Just so you'd have a choice
Right,
if you didn't particularly like,
right.
the font that I chose.
You probably don't remember what fonts those are though, do you?
No, but I can, on my VP4 files, if I go back in there and you can find out what fonts. If you would like to know, I can do that and email it to you.
Oh, I hate for you to have to do that. But could I put the file in my software and would I be able to tell? Probably not, huh? No, because I don't have the VP4. I only have the VP3. Yeah.
Let me check. Hang on a sec, okay?
Okay, thanks. I don't mean for you to have to do something else though.
No, that's okay. It's just right across the room here, not a problem. Okay, good. Okay, let's try that one. Okay, Lee. If you go into, well, let me just print this one page here. I don't want it on that printer.
Turning my mic back on.
Oh, I do want the whole thing, but that's okay. Okay. If you bring the VP3 file up in your My Sewnet software and you use the print options,
Uh-huh.
there's a list of all sorts of things that you can or cannot print out.
Right.
And one of them is settings. And I just printed out, well, let me show you the page. I just printed this out.
Okay.
If I could hold it still, like it says letterings, letters, it's not, category, modern, font, ellipse, 20 to 60 millimeters, size 20 millimeter, gap 6. I mean, it's got everything about the
Okay.
fonts right in there. So you can find that out from the VP3 file.
Oh, that's great to know. Okay, so I'll do that just so I can see how to do that.
Okay?
Neat, thank you.
And I did, it's got them split out by line.
Okay,
I wanted to be able to space the lines like I wanted them.
uh-huh,
So that's why each line is separate.
okay.
But now this is great information because
Mhm.
I can't ever remember what font I've used.
Right, so you can do that.
Yeah,
Huh.
so you don't
Even
need
once
the
it's-
VP4 file.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right?
It's showing the colors up there too, isn't it?
Yes, that's the color information.
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
Yeah, print has a lot, you can get a lot of information out of the print option.
You know, I could probably almost just, if I wanted to use the vinyl, I could just print the words, not there, but on the other one, you know, before you get to that part. And then I would have it all on a piece of paper. Then I could scan it in. I'm just thinking. That's the fun part.
And
Figuring out how to do all
the
this.
printer was set to print, you know, on both sides of the paper, so it kind of split it.
Yeah,
If you've, this printout was done with a screen capture.
screen capture. Okay, but you still have the lines in there. So
Well,
I'd
you
have to
can
get
turn
rid
the
of
grid
lines.
off on
Turn
your
the grid
screen,
off, yeah. Okay,
okay? And then you would get a clear,
okay,
all right?
neat. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Lee, sorry to interrupt, but thank you for sending the customer. We appreciate it.
Which one is that?
What was her name? We did tell her. You have an appointment with someone today at 1?
Oh, Kimberly. Oh, wow. Okay, good. I don't think she's interested in embroidery, but that's neat.
Yeah,
that
she got
put
a
it
thought,
down.
she got an ambition, so thank
Yeah.
you. We appreciate it.
Oh, sure. I'm glad she's coming up there. And I've been trying
Yeah,
to
that was
convince
awesome.
her about the embroidery and how it's really just a sewing machine that is really nice and big. Like you don't,
Yeah.
the Epic, none of the Epics come in just a sewing machine, do they?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So we have a 95Q
Okay, so
and
that's,
it's Epic 2 sewing only.
okay. That might be the one to show her. I don't know. We'll see. She's, like you said, she's
Okay.
going from a very old FOF.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well,
okay.
thank you. We appreciate it.
Okay, good. I'm trying to, figure out the things I missed on Saturday. So that is not Mylar, right? It's just
Well,
fluff,
it's
right?
here. She'll talk to you about it.
So
This
Lee,
stuff, yeah,
what you got, you should have gotten rinse away mesh,
right. Yep, I've got it.
okay? And then you got some thread.
That's just thread. Okay, I wasn't sure what that was.
Nope, they're only thread.
Okay, they're not Mylar because I've seen Mylar like that. I'm like, okay.
Well, you could cut up little pieces and put it in there because then that's going to be the Christmas tree because you're going to have that sandwich, the thread sandwiched in between
Right,
and stitch out the tree or the snowman. You've got your template for the hat.
right.
There was some fabric or some felt that would be for the scarf for the snowman.
Mm-hmm.
There
And you
were
attach
beads.
all that after you print it, right? I mean, after you embroider it.
Yes. After you embroider it and rinse it out. So when you
Yeah.
do it, you're going to cut away from the edge about 1/4 inch or so. And the roughy, where it looks kind of raggy on the edge,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Here, can you see this little
Oh, there,
snowman?
now I see what it looks like. Okay, thank you. That's
Yeah.
helpful. Good. Okay.
Yes.
Fun, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, figured I need to get those finished.
Brenda was there. She had some cute ones.
Uh-huh. It's great.
You're muted, Brenda.
I know, I caught that. They're not finished yet either.
You
But
didn't
look,
get the
fun.
finish
Overnight to
You-
really dry.
in person? That's amazing because it looks pretty fast.
It is.
They are. Just be prepared for kind of a mess.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
Okay, thanks, Brenda, for showing me.
this is
Oh,
the
that's
tree.
good, Brenda. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, the tree.
That
And
was
then
the
there,
tree.
oh yeah, I also gave them the star. So
right.
that way you could
Okay.
do the star too.
Yeah, I
Right.
did the star and I did put some of the sequins on it.
So you just used the white for the star. That's what I was wondering. I figured. Yeah.
And
I
if you
used
have
silver.
gold, you did silver. Yeah. And at home, I had some gold threads. And I just cut up what I needed and put them in there.
But I couldn't just use gold thread. It's not that digitized,
Sure you
right?
could.
I mean,
Well,
with
you're going to
nothing
need a
inside
lot of it.
With
Yeah.
nothing inside though, right?
What, babe?
It's not digitized to just use the thread. That's what I was thinking. You know, like the
Yes,
angels
it is.
that just,
Oh, no. You have to have some stabilizer to hold it together.
that's what I thought. Something that
Yeah.
you could put the stuff called, anyway, you could put something else in there and then just use the thread. Yeah. I can't think what it's called.
I
Like
use the
jewel?
rinse away mesh on the bottom and the top
Right.
because you want it to rinse away completely afterwards.
Right.
And all you're left with is the thread unless you cut up little pieces of the mylar that can be shown through.
Right. Okay, good. But there is some mylar that looks like this that you iron to make it flat. And that's
Yeah,
why
I
I
have
was
seen that.
questioning it. I'm like, is this mylar or thread?
Yeah.
So good, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Good to see
Yeah,
what they
no,
look like.
that's all thread.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna mute
Sorry.
us.
Thank you. Sorry, Judy, we hijacked
No,
you.
no, that's okay. It's all important.
No, Judy, I did classes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday I couldn't do it last week, you know, when Paula was here. So that's why I'm like, okay, I need to work on these projects.
Were you in the store or were you virtual?
No, I was virtual the whole time. But on Wednesday, I drove down to pick up the kids. So every day last week was Sew-ciety Day.
Well, that's not all bad.
No, it's not all bad. It's fun.
So
So
Miss
thanks.
Peggy, how are you doing? She must have stepped away. Lee, were you thinking about maybe using some tool or something on those ornament or pins or
That
whatever?
was the word I was thinking, because we don't have any other color for the star. So I was wondering if I just used gold thread. And yes, tulle was the word I could not think of. Thank you. Or organza, that organza too.
Yes, organza.
That's what I was thinking. And I just couldn't think of the word. So I'm thinking if I just put that in there and then use gold thread, I should be okay.
You mean cut up gold thread?
No, gold thread to just embroider it from the file.
Oh, okay, then you
Because
probably
organza,
really
What?
would want organza.
right,
And
because organza would hold.
that's kind of fancy sparkle organza or something that has a design on it.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah,
And I did go ahead and put all the files together because I was just going to try to do it all at once here. So hopefully it'll work.
just put them in a big hoop.
Yeah, and 200 by 200. They're not that big.
No, they're not.
So did you do any of the classes, Judy?
No, I didn't. I've done the ornaments previously,
Right.
and Saturday when I was in there, it looked like a snowstorm on the floor because all that cut up thread was all over.
I think I'll cut it outside. I think that it's pretty cold today, but it might be worth it. Then the birds can have it for their nests, right?
Well, That's true, but when you go to put it on, build it, you know, when you build your sandwich with it in there, that's
Mhm.
what gets messy. It's not the
Okay,
cutting, it's the using.
okay, great. Don't get it in your machine or you're gonna really have a mess.
Good, very well.
Thanks for the warnings.
How's it going, Brenda?
It's going good. I'm about to do the edging on all my fabrics. So,
Oh, cool. Can't wait to see it.
yeah.
Peggy, are you there? Guess not.
Judy, one more question. So you are not doing any of the workbook classes this month, right?
Correct.
Okay, I just looked at the schedule and wanted to make sure.
Right.
Okay,
Carol figured that that time of the month, people probably were just full on
Yeah.
to Christmas and really, you know, wouldn't have time to attend a workbook class. So
thank you. That's a good idea. Will you start them up again in January then?
yes, ma'am, we will.
Oh, great. They're so good. I love them. You do such a great job.
Thank you. Well, they do give us a lot of information and a lot of thought thing, you know, ideas and to think about that we probably wouldn't be thinking about using the techniques and the features of our machine that they explore for us.
Right. That's really good to know. That's what I love about them is it teaches us what our machines can do.
Yes, and there's a lot that they can do that we probably wouldn't even begin to look at if we weren't prompted by the workbooks classes.
Right. Okay, thanks. I think I'm going to go.
Okay, well, good luck
Merry
with the
Christmas to
project,
everybody.
and when you get the bag made, I'd love to see it.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate everything.
Class.
Okay, we'll see you next year.
See you next year. Have a good Christmas and New Year.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thank you for
Bye.
being here.
Here's mine. I think
Okay.
my pattern's so busy you can hardly see the words, but it's all there.
Well, it looks good.
Yeah.
You like it?
Oh yeah, I do.
So are you going to put the other saying on the other half of the bag?
No, I'm gonna go buy a plain one because I want to make something like this as a gift.
Oh, okay. You
And
have
so-
someone that is, has a couple of yards of fabric?
Yep.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for being in class. Thank you for participating, and I appreciate it. And I hope you have a great holiday and a new year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Yes. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Peggy Wolf, are you there?
Yeah,
Were you gone for a while?
yes.
I thought so. I
I
tried
had
to talk to you and I didn't get an answer.
Yeah, I can't get my dog to come in here and she doesn't have her coat on, so she's laying out there all curled up like she's frozen.
Well,
So,
they have a mind of their own.
no, she certainly does. I can tell you that much.
So are you getting anything done on the project? Or are you working on it?
Well, I looked at it and I downloaded it. And I was trying to almost just to play with it, almost put it on a dish towel. And I thought I could take that dish towel, Lord knows I have plenty of them, and I could take and put it, incorporate it into a bag, make a bag with it. But
Okay.
then I changed my mind. You know, I lost my train of thought when I had to go out and mess with my dog.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think, go ahead.
I don't know if you were listening or were in the at your computer when Lee was asking about the different fonts and how to find out what they were.
No, I missed that one.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that Premiere Plus 2 or Premiere 2 Plus, whatever, has the same feature that my Sonnet does. But if you take bring up your design in your software and then you take it into the print function,
Okay.
there's a lot of settings as to what you can print out. And one of the things that you can print out is called settings. Okay. And
Okay.
in the settings, it will tell you what font was used and all the settings for that particular font. Can you see this?
Yeah. So I would just take that into my Premiere 2.
Just bring the design up into Premiere 2 and then go into print. And make sure that, you know, all the little checkbox by settings is checked. And you can look at it on the screen by paging through what would print out. If you're
Okay.
just looking for it, you don't actually have to print it out. I just printed it out so I could show Lee.
Okay. And it tells you what font that is?
Yeah, look. It says that it's the category for the letters. It's not, and because I did each line separately. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's in the category modern. The font is ellipse, 20 to 60 millimeter. The size was 20 millimeters. The gap was 6. The width and height were 100%. It was horizontal, alignment, center, line spacing 1.2 millimeters. Satin column, pattern number, density compensation, zigzag underlay, edge walk underlay.
Well, that's cool.
And that repeats for each line.
No, that's nice.
So that's good. I mean, you can
Yeah.
take the design that you didn't create and find, and you'd say, oh, I really like that font, but I don't know where it is or what it is.
Right.
You have a possibility of finding out what it was.
Well, I'm going to have to play with that.
Okay? Because I know I've seen some fonts and I said, oh, I really like that, but I have no clue what it is.
Yeah. Well, and then like Melody Lane or that other one, Jennifer Maker, they always say if you find a font you like, write it down when you come across it. Otherwise, sometimes it's hard to find.
Yeah, and
And
there's so many fonts that are similar.
yeah, and they're never the same.
I know.
So it's a constant battle. And then you get frustrated and you just give up and use whatever pops to mind.
Or whatever looks close.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. I
All
gotta,
right. Go get Boo in the house.
yeah, I gotta go. She's being not ornery. She's never really ornery, but she doesn't, for some reason, if I'm sewing, she'll come in here. If I'm on the computer, she doesn't like it. And I think that goes back to having a house sitter that might have scolded her at one time or another because they were doing their homework or something out here. And it's just, if computer's not on, she's fine. But the computer, sitting at it, she doesn't like that.
Well, it may be that there's a noise that we don't hear that bothers her when the computer's on too.
No, that could very well be because she's very sensitive to a lot of stuff.
So, okay, we'll go rescue her.
Okay, thank you. I will talk to you soon.
All righty. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So Judy, I've been having some issues because I had a bright idea and I don't think it was very bright.
Oh, well, tell me about it.
I was gonna stitch out, it's not hoarding if it's fabric.
Yes.
But I thought I would like to arrange those little swatches differently. So I was trying to kind of just keep the writing and then put that in later. And I think I made a mess of everything.
What can I do to help you?
I don't know. Just tell me what you suggest and I'll work on it. I thought I was going to be creative, you know.
Okay, were you playing in the software?
No, I was playing on my machine.
Oh, okay. Well, you could bring the design, if you want to separate those two,
Yes.
you have a couple options. First off, I can send you just the letters as the design, if that would help.
Oh, that's very easy.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Or you can open it in your MySewNet software,
Yes.
the whole design, and select the whole design and then say edit design. And that'll take you into Stitch Editor. And then you could select the two ways to do it. Okay, and I'll tell you probably the easiest way is to select just the letters and copy them to the clipboard. And then create still in Stitch Editor, say file new, so you get another empty window, and then just paste the letters in that new window and save that as a different design.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And then tell me what you wanted to do with the little fabric swatches.
Well, I was thinking about putting them in between it's not hoarding. I was gonna put a few swatches in there, just kind of make that a little longer, and then and then under hoarding, put a few more.
So you want to,
Rather than circling the letters, I was gonna put them in between, if that makes any sense.
yeah, that's fine. Again, you could do that in Stitch Editor just by box selecting each piece that you want to move and moving it.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I guess just trying to do it on the machine was a little more difficult than doing it on the software.
Well, it's not something that I don't think is really possible on the machine.
Okay, all right. And the reason I was doing that is because I'm in the guest room where my machine is, and I brought my computer in so I could participate in class. And I have a little ironing station here and stuff like that, and all my threads. That's why I was trying to do it here rather than go out into the, the main part of the house. But that sounds much easier if I just use my
Your software, and you know where I'm at if you've got some problems.
Okay, thank you. And I didn't want to try to pull it up on my laptop here because I was afraid I would get disconnected from the call. And that's why I didn't try it on the software. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You should be able to minimize the call and go ahead, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, with my level of understanding of this, who knows what would have happened, I had enough trouble trying to get on the call this morning.
Oh, okay, so what I've said, does that make sense about?
It does, and I'm gonna go give that a try.
Okay, all right, once you get it, arranged like you want, it will take it and you say, you X out of Stitch Editor.
Uh-huh.
It'll take you back to embroidery, and don't just save it as a new name.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Because it'll go back into embroidery with the name that it came in with. And if you just save it, it'll overwrite it.
Okay.
And so do a save as.
Okay.
Okay, and then export it.
Okay. I'll do that one. Great.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. You have a good rest of your day.
You too. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks. Bye now.
Bye.